Let's talk about blacks in trash as a way to celebrate black history with lore from my mangas The Devil's Deed and Night of Slaughter. So Lady Simp in the Discord asked the question, what do we do about trash in my world? And if you've been paying attention to the videos, you know the world is different as technology levels vary from region to region. But let's go into the world of Deep Stalker Crow real quick, which takes place 400 years before Devil's Deal and the formation of Team GOAT. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the south part of the Eastern Front at Bayshire, divine city of Cypher, the goddess of the void. And the thing about Bayshire is there's two components. One is the Dragon Haven down below, and then you have the top part of the city where most of the normal humanoids hang out. But you know, there's a problem because the void extends 558 miles in radius from Bayshire, which means getting food and waste management is kind of an issue, including water. Now, the thing is, the Athens within the east and the holy city of Wargost, where Desolation, god of destruction, resides, came up with a solution for power and energy. And this was to create portals into the realms of water, fire, and earth and convert that energy through, aqueducts and stuff like that, and use Ellie crystals, which are bodies of Fey children, in order to create stable batteries that could contain lots and lots of energy. But the first issue you run into is they don't like their eggs being used as batteries. They didn't like it when you tried to use Kush fairies as drugs, and they sure as hell didn't like it when you was using them for food. Now, the second issue these societies are running into is when you open up realms to other elemental planes, guess what it comes through, people? Elementals would occasionally come through and risk destroying the facility. So needless to say, they had energy, but they had an energy problem. Before we go into this person, we got to understand in Bayshire, it's a utopia. You don't have to work. You have to contribute and you have to do something with your life, but you don't need to work to survive. So this leads Bayshire to have a lot of academics, a lot of art, and sometimes people find themselves in really weird jobs and hobbies, such as trash collection and trash disposal. Normally, dragons are the ones that kind of deal with the trash and some of the maintenance of Bayshire in the network underneath the city. But there was a woman named Appa. Yeah, I know it's an old asset. We reuse art where we can. But she had an interest in power and water energy. Having the city have gone through several destruction of power stations before, thanks to elementals, she started doing work. How can we reduce the frequency at which this happens? How can we supply water reliably without having to deal with as many elementals? Normally, you just put up more barriers on the water side in the water realm. But she ended up coming up with a method that was then applied across the world in most civilized society. And she did it using slimes. She had a friend named Mala who was really interested in creatures and monsters across the world and had spent part of his adult life studying creatures. And he had an unhealthy obsession with the invertebrate species. So one day when they were talking about it, she found out through Mala that there was a type of slime that dealt with organic matter but was also very porous. So after Appa ended up talking to the church about acquiring some slimes in order to actually do some test studies, she worked with the Black Dragon Council underneath the city and got approval to set up an alternate pipeline of waste so that she could test if she put the slimes in a specialized chamber, would they actually get rid of most of the toxic material and waste. And the thing is, it worked. And she also came up with the usage of blue dragons who also have the ability to purify water as it just pours on top of them into creating a filtration system that could reduce the usage of water from the water elemental realm by 90%. Now, unfortunately, most of the world doesn't just have blue dragons to just sit in their water and do that second level of filtration, but most of the world can obtain those slimes in order on a large scale to filter the main waste. So in terms of black impact, you can thank Appa for your characters being able to drink fresh water consistently without being attacked by water elementals. But you can read all the lore from my mangas right here for free. Just see bio description, or you can get your own original character in the lore by grabbing a diamond sub.